Hello all. Today we will discuss about the chapter number 5 called distribution law from physical chemistry paper. Now this distribution law is used to study how a solute is being distributed in a two-phase system. I will show what is a two-phase system now, okay? The thing that you see here is a two-phase system. Why it is called so? The upper bow solution is the eucalyptus oil, and the bottom solution or bottom solvent is nothing but the water, which is colored pink just for the appearance. So even after shaking this, it stands in there. Okay, you can find the two separate liquids. Okay, this is called as what? Two-phase system, right? Now we will get into the chapter. So when the solute is added to a two-phase system, that is two immiscible liquids, say A and B, such that this solute must be soluble. Okay, it must be soluble in both the liquid pairs. It must be soluble in both the liquid pairs. So whenever it is soluble in both the liquid pairs, we can say that the solute is distributed in both the liquid phase. Am I right? It is distributed. The solute is being distributed in both the liquid phase. Okay. Then the ratio of concentration of solute X in both the liquid phase, okay, in both liquid layers remains constant. It remains constant at constant temperature. This is an important point, or I can say the condition that favors this law. Okay, at constant temperature. Okay, at constant temperature. This is one of the condition. And the next thing is this solute. Okay, this solute should maintain, it must maintain its molecular formula. Even then the solute is for example, if I add iodine to these two miscible liquids, the iodine, what is the formula for iodine? Molecular formula I2. That formula should not change when it mixes with these liquids. Okay, or you can say in other words as the solute should not undergo association, dissociation and chemical combination. It must not undergo either association or dissociation or chemical combination. What is meant by association? Association is nothing but combining. Dissociation means splitting up. It would be separated. Chemical combination is more or less same as association. Okay, it should not undergo all these categories. If it does, it will be an unfavorable condition for this law. Okay, it must not undergo any of this process. Clear? Then this solvent used must be immiscible. Okay, this solvent must be immiscible. What's the meaning of immiscible? It must not combine with one another. Okay, it must not mix with one another. The solvent that we use, for example, benzene and water, it won't combine, right? It won't dissolve in one another, right? So the solvent must be immiscible, and the solubility of this solvent should not be affected by the addition of this solute. Okay, the solubility of this solvent should not be affected by the addition of solute. The last point is the solution. Okay, the solution. Okay, we will arrive at solution by mixing solute and solvent. We will be arriving at a solution. This solution must be, how the solution, what must be the nature of the solution? It must be dilute. Dilute in the sense, while adding this solute itself, I must add in a very small quantity. Okay, this solute, the addition of this solute must be limited, small quantity. Okay, small quantity, then only it would be diluted solution you will get. So for now we have discussed the statement as well as the conditions. So the see, I will just say the statement once again. The concentration of solute, concentration of, here I will by this side I will write concentration of solute X, concentration of solute X in the liquid phase A is Ca divided by the concentration of solute in B phase, that is Cb. It must be a constant. It must be a constant. This K, or sometimes in few books it would be represented as Kd. It is nothing but the distribution coefficient or partition coefficient. So this is the statement of distribution law, and these are the conditions that favors the law given by Nernst. Right. Now we will discuss, we are going to arrive, the aim is we are going to bring this equation via thermodynamics by using the concept of thermodynamics. Okay, by using the concept of thermodynamics. So I can write the heading as thermodynamic derivation. Okay, thermodynamics, thermodynamic derivation. Derivation of what? Derivation of this Kd, distribution coefficient or partition coefficient. Okay, this is what we are going to derive. Now the solute we have added, right? We are adding the solute. This solute is distributed in both the phase. It is being distributed in both the phase. Since the solute is distributed in phase A as well as in phase B, the chemical potential of this solute in A is given as mu A, and the chemical potential of this solute X in phase B is given as mu B. So what is meant by this chemical potential? Okay, what is meant by this chemical potential? This measures the ability of the molecules or the atoms present in this system to perform the physical work. That is called as the chemical potential. So chemical potential of solute in phase A is given as mu A, and the chemical potential of the same solute in phase B is given as mu B. When there is an equilibrium between these two phases, when equilibrium is set between these two phases, what happens is the chemical potential of solute X in A is equal to chemical potential of solute X in B phase also. By thermodynamic definition, chemical potential, the formula for chemical potential is given as mu is equal to mu naught plus RT natural ln of A. This mu is the chemical potential, mu naught is the standard chemical potential, R is the universal constant, T is the temperature, and A is the activity of the solute. A is the activity of solute. A is the activity of solute. Clear? So I can just write the chemical potential of solute X in A as mu A. Okay, mu A is equal to mu A naught plus RT natural ln of A to the base A, capital A. And also similarly for the chemical potential of the solute X in B can be written as mu to the base B naught plus RT natural ln of A to the base B. Since we have said at equilibrium the chemical potential of both the solvents in the phase, the chemical potential of the solvents in both the phase is equal when equilibrium is set between them. So this equation, these two equations can be written as, I can just equate them both. Okay, can I do that? Yes. Mu A naught, since mu A is equal to mu B, so this plus RT natural ln of A to the base A is equal to, is that visible? Yeah. So mu naught B plus RT natural ln of A to the base B. Now I can rearrange this expression as follows. RT natural ln of A to the base B minus, just I am bringing this term to my left hand side. So it becomes minus RT natural ln of A to the base B is equal to mu naught B minus, so bringing this term to this side, right side. You will get as mu to the base A naught. Okay, we know a formula. Now, log of A minus B is nothing but log of A by B, right? The same thing you can just apply for this too. So it becomes is what? RT natural ln of A to the base A to the base B. It is nothing but the activity of the solute X in phase A, and A to the base B is the activity of solute X in phase B. Okay, is equal to mu B naught minus mu A naught. Now the condition is, all these processes must be carried at what? A constant temperature. There must be a constant temperature. That is one of the condition we learned, right? That will favor the distribution law. Constant temperature. So at constant temperature the chemical potential is constant. Okay, this is constant, and since this gas constant is a constant, since it is a constant, this is also a R is also constant here. Condition is constant temperature, so temperature is also constant thing. So this equation will be converted as A to the base A divided by A to the base B is equal to constant. Now we are going to apply Henry's law. Henry's law. According to this law, activity of the solute is proportional to the concentration of the solute. Activity of the solute is proportional to what? Concentration of solute in the respective liquid layers. Okay, so in order to replace the proportionality by equality, I am going to insert a constant called K. K is your Henry's constant, right? This remains as such. Now just by applying to this, a to the base a is equal to Ka Ca. Ca is what? The concentration of solute X in A phase. Similarly, a to the base b is equal to Kb C to the base b. These are called what? These are the Henry's constant. These are known as Henry's constant. And this Cb is the concentration of solute X in phase B. Now this equation can be written as Ca. Okay, activity is proportional to constant. Okay, so C to the base A divided by C to the base B is equal to constant. That is nothing but, this constant is called as what? Distribution constant or partition constant. This is called as a distribution coefficient or partition coefficient. Distribution coefficient or partition coefficient. So we have arrived this mathematical expression by using the concept of thermodynamics. Clear? So that's all for this video. We will just continue the second part with the modification of this distribution law. When a distribution law is modified, when an unfavorable condition comes into picture. What is an unfavorable condition? Here we learnt this one. When the solute undergoes association or dissociation or any kind of chemical combination, it's for sure that this law will not be satisfied over there. So there would be some kind of deviation. Okay, right. So thank you all.